Welcome to the Big Money Influencers Podcast. We talk with top influencers and experts to help you navigate and prosper in your business. It's all about creating wealth, legacy, and an online presence. Here's your host, Ceanne Livingston.
Welcome back. I'm super excited today to be talking to the brain boss, Patrice Lynn, who is telling me all about reprogramming the brain so that you can create wealth in your life, in your business, in every aspect of your life. Thank you for coming. I'm so happy that you're here.
I'm happy to be here. What an honor. It's great.
In a nutshell, tell me what you do.
I work with faith-based professionals in transition, and I help them to become the boss of their brain so that they can manifest their God-given destiny with conviction, clarity, and power, finally live the life that they were designed to live.
The boss of their brain.
Yeah.
Wow.
The brain is just integral to everything that we do in life. What I find is that people are underutilize their brain. They don't know about the power of it. It has so much power. I mean, it's like a supercomputer sitting on our shoulders. We know more how to program our cell phone than we do our own brain. I love teaching people how to work with their brain and how to help get the results that they want in life by understanding how the brain works. And these things were just so important in my own life because I've been through so many transitions. I've had a lot of challenges to overcome. And when I started learning, number one, about personal growth, but then later on about the brain and how powerful it is and how to work with it, it really made a difference. I've just been amazed at some of the results I've been able to get working with my brain. Yeah, I want that for other people. I want them to know how easy it can be, something that they just don't really know about.
So when you're talking about working with other people, who do you like to work with? Who are you passionate about working with?
I'm really passionate about working with very open-minded people. I originally wasn't going to focus more on faith and spirituality and people that know God and love God. But to tell you the truth, Ceanne, in the times that we're living in, I think more and more people are turning to God. And I find that I enjoy working with the people like me that have a faith in God. And so then I can talk about not just science, neuroscience and quantum physics, but I can talk about scripture. I can talk about ancient scripture. I can talk about very powerful things that have been said in the Bible, in ancient texts that are really empowering verses and give empowering knowledge to people. So that's what I like, is people that are interested in science and scripture, spirituality, and also strategies for life success. And because I've been in this field of personal and professional development so long, over 20, 25 years, I've learned a lot of strategies. So I have a lot of tools in my toolkit. And it's funny how whatever we're good at in life, we tend to think that everybody knows it. And I've had to realize that all this studying in personal development, personal growth, especially younger people, they don't know a lot of these things. And unless you've been on that same path and on that same journey, there is a lot that people don't know. So then I'm like, well, I can teach about that. So I have an 8-week coaching program, a live group coaching program called the Brain Boss Blueprint. And in that, I teach about personal growth as well as the brain and how to rewire your brain and how the brain works.
I'm going to ask you a couple of questions when it comes to building wealth.
Okay.
If you were to give me or the audience a couple tips and strategies regarding money blocks, it's just we're here to learn about building wealth. However, I've gone to a lot of conferences, especially in real estate investing, and you see people doing the same thing over and over and over again. I believe it's a lot of times we don't succeed because of these programs or patterns or belief systems that we have set up in our mind, in our brain.
Right. Well, the brain is the number one wealth building machine. And, in the field that we're in, you hear people all the time talking about mindset and how important it is. I know about a year ago, I was listening to some meeting planners that are people that hire speakers. One of them specialized in the real estate industry, and they were saying how of all the speakers that they would provide for people in the real estate industry, it was the speakers that talked about mindset that were the most popular. And people said, oh, I need that. I have to learn more about that. And I think a lot of people, they want to learn certain things, but in the end, they realize that the mindset is a big determiner of results. So when I wrote my book, Rise to Success, The Secret Power of Your Brain to Change Your Life. It's available on Amazon. And I came up against something as I was writing my book. And I thought, all my career, I've heard of people talk about beliefs. I knew things about beliefs, but I'm like, well, what is a belief really? And I was like, I don't really even know. If somebody said, how do you describe it? I really couldn't describe it, or how a belief comes about. I did my own little research for my book, and it was really around how do you create a new belief? So a belief is really like a paradigm, a way that you see the world, something that you believe to be true. But if you want to change your beliefs, what do? How do you create a new belief? Well, what I found out is that a belief is simply a thought that you think over and over and over. And the more intensity, the more duration, and the more passionately you think about it, at a certain point, it changes from just a thought into a belief by how much and how frequently you think it and the intensity that you have as you're thinking it. So I think that's pretty powerful, because thoughts, we have like 90,000 thoughts a day. And the problem is that 90% of the thoughts we have in any given day are the same as the ones we had the day before. So if you keep thinking the same thoughts, like whatever results you have in life have to do with your belief system. And if you keep thinking the same thoughts over and over, you're going to have the same beliefs and you're going to get the same results. So that was something I learned actually really early in my career, when I was one of the first 5 independent consultants to teach the 7 habits of highly effective people. And in that model, Stephen Covey taught in that book about the belief to results paradigm. So it starts with a belief, a paradigm of how you see the world. Then from there, you have your thoughts, which impact how you feel. So you have a loop with your thoughts and your feelings. Then that goes to the actions that you take, and actions you take over and over become habits. So we know a lot of life is based on the habits that we have. Then from there flow your results. So you can't just say, oh, I want a certain result. You have to really walk through this process of how do you see the world? What are your beliefs? From your beliefs, what are you thinking over and over? How do your thoughts impact how you feel? And then from there, your actions flow from your feelings, and your thoughts become habits and lead to results. So that's a very powerful model. So hopefully that helps answer your question.
It actually does. It reminds me of when I read I read the Cliff Notes on that book years ago.
Good.
And I think I got this little tiny book for Christmas or something. I read that book a couple years ago, after I spent $80,000 on a communication bachelor degree.
Oh, wow.
I read that book and I was just like mouth drop, because so much of the things that I learned at school were in that book.
You're like, oh, I could
have had my whole education from this book.
Oh my gosh. Well, you know why it's so powerful? Not everybody knows this, but Stephen Covey, when he was getting his doctorate at Brigham Young University, he had a whole team of people work with him to study a 200-year period of success literature from 1776 to 1976. So the reason that the 7 Habits is so powerful and so long-lasting, it isn't just Stephen Covey's idea of what it takes to be successful and effective. It's a 200-year body of knowledge that he and a bunch of grad students consolidated into these 7 habits that they found were themes over that period of time. So that's why it's really timeless. And that's why so much of what's in the book is what you would learn in a course like that. So yeah, I was very honored to meet Stephen Covey, and I even have a little endorsement on my book from him, and just to be around him and learn from him. But what a great guy. And, you know, I think my favorite part is the power of visualization. So that would be another tip that I would give people is you have to have a vision for what you want in your future, and you have to visualize it, and that you have to do over and over and over as well. Stephen Covey talked about what would you want your 80th birthday party to be like? Who would you want to be there? What would you want them to say? And then he talked about when you die, what would that be like? Well, he said his vision, and most people's would be to have your friends and family, the people closest to you, surrounding you and there with you. And that's exactly how it was when he died. He actually had a bicycle accident, and then he had complications from that, and he died at 82 years old, surrounded by his friends and family. So, you know, he lived a life well lived, and he was able to live out the vision and the strategy that he taught so many other people. So that is a really key to getting results you want, is to visualize and envision, begin with the end in mind, know what it is you want, but then consistently envision it. So again, the times that we're living in, what have people been focusing on? Are they focusing on getting the coronavirus? Maybe if they lost their job, am I going to be out on the streets? Or am I going to have some successful business that I'm going to be doing, and it's going to work, and I'm going to attract clients, and it's going to be successful, and I'm going to make money? And, it's all based on what are you thinking about for your future over and over and over, because your brain is programmable and it will get you what you want. There's something called the reticular activating system. And it's the idea that if you tell your brain and then it goes into your subconscious mind what you want, then your brain actually helps you to find the things you want and to get what you want. It's pretty cool.
Wow. I've heard about the neuropaths.
Like neuroplasticity or?
Yeah, the neuropaths that you can
yes.
restore, like a railroad track going through your mind and improves and rebuild them.
Because a brain cell is a neuron, and then you want your neurons to get together and form a neural network. So the thoughts you think the most, they hook together. It's a lot like people, and it's like a neuron connected to other neurons is like a network of people. So that's what happens in our brain, is the thoughts that are alike come together, just like with people. If you hang out with successful people and like-minded people, that makes your life richer and better. So the same thing is going on in our brain, is that you think these thoughts, and then they start building these neural networks and these neural pathways in your brain. And then you reinforce them by thinking about it with repetition over and over. I mean, repetition is a key in life. It's how we learn things. It's how we develop habits, and it's how we get the right brain neural networks and neural pathways happening in our brain.
Learn the secrets entrepreneurs can use to create wealth and legacy. Discover exactly how the top 1% are building financial success, wealth, and a legacy quickly in their business. These are the only secrets you need to create wealth and legacy when it comes to building your online presence. When you visit BigMoneyInfluencerLive.com, you will get free access to the exclusive Big Money Influencers Live Business Kit. It teaches proven secret strategies that successful entrepreneurs are using daily to create wealth and legacy in their business. Foolproof methods established business owners are using to live and build wealth and legacy. We know you're busy, so we have convenient audios which include foolproof methods established business owners use to build wealth and legacy. Easy to follow binder notes. And if you're ready to 10x your online presence or ready to take your business online, you can book a call and discover how to get started. Visit BigMoneyInfluencerLive.com. That's BigMoneyInfluencerLive.com.
I mean, repetition is a key in life. It's how we learn things. it's how we develop habits, and it's how we get the right brain neural networks and neural pathways happening in our brain.
That's so interesting. If someone wants to get your book, how would they find that?
They can find it on Amazon. Yeah, it's a bestseller on Amazon, so they can go there. Then I also have a process. So the RISE to Success it's an acronym for repetition, images, sound, and emotion. So what I did is I developed a 15-minute daily process, because, a lot of people want you to do things that take like an hour, 45 minutes. And I thought, not everybody's willing to do that. So I came up with a 15-minute process that I call RISE to Success. So it's part of how you become the boss of your brain, is to do this 15-minute daily process. I'm going to start doing it on Facebook, have a group. I'll be doing it live on Facebook in the morning, and people could join that. But also, if you go, I have a free masterclass. So if you go to gobrainboss.com, that's how you sign up for the masterclass. So I do those on a regular basis. And then if you want the sheet, so I have a blank sheet that I can show you just what it looks like. And so I give those out to people so they can create their own Brain Boss journal. I just like giving it away. So it's a page that looks like this, and it's got the repetition, images, sound, and emotion. And I have a whole course on it of how you can do it, and with all the audios and things like that, the workbook. But I can just give out the journal page to people, and that's at gobrainboss.com/rise. So they can get that there, that free page that they can kind of teach themselves. Because, some people are do-it-yourselfers, and then other people like more instruction. In my masterclass, which I do on a regular basis, you can learn more of the things about the brain. And then if people want to enroll in the 8-week coaching program, that's when we go really deep and we get that tribe of people together. And I have a lot of experience with training and now with doing virtual training. So it's going to be really fun. It'll be very interactive, engaging, and it's really fun to learn with other people. It goes back to that whole thing about the neural networks and the connection of people. And if you get in a group, as I know, because you've done these kind of things, if you get in a group with a like-minded group of people that will encourage you and hold you accountable, it's really a fantastic thing. It's one of the best ways to grow. And so I just want to teach. I'm teaching a course about everything I know about the brain and personal development too.
Cool. Can you give us a little bit of a sample?
Okay, like what? A sample of what?
Just a sample of your 15-minute. You don't have to go the full 15-minute, just a little bit of the process. You can go for how long
so
you
the
want.
process, you pick 3 goals that you want to focus on, and you write those 3 goals down. And so every day you're writing down your 3 goals. Again, repetition. It's telling your brain, this is what I want. This is what I want. And then the images, what we do is I ask people to come up with like a little movie script, because really we all have a screen in our brain. I call it the image screen. And you can think of it like a big screen TV or a cell phone screen. And it's like in your brain. And what you want to do is you want to write out a little movie script and then project that onto your image screen. And so you need to do it for 2 minutes. So we take time and we do a visualization where you hold the thought of what you want to create for 2 minutes. Because it's if you just have fleeting thoughts, it's not as powerful as visualizing it for a period of time and holding the focus. There's research on that too. So I do a guided visualization, but it's only 2 minutes long, and it's focusing on just one thing. But then the idea is that you have to bring it alive, like make it sensually really rich, and so that you feel it and you see it, you can taste it, touch it, smell it, everything, bringing all the senses alive. And then that activates the brain, and the brain gets the message very strongly. Then we go to the sound, which is declarations, which are also called affirmations, but I like declarations, and they can be scripture. They can just be positive statements. Like I often say, I believe something good is going to happen to me today. And the more you say these statements to your brain, it's creating that belief system. It's programming your brain. It's getting the neural pathways, like you talked about, embedded in your brain. So you just find these things that you want and you say them every day. You spend time, say them out loud, because you have to say it out loud, because your brain will register it if you say it out loud. And then, and plus, God spoke the world into creation. So when you speak things, we're made in God's image. So when you speak it, it's helping to create it. And then lastly, the E is for emotion. And the thing about emotion is we are very emotional creatures. And as we know, this year-long lockdown that we've had to endure, and everybody staying home more, it's really affected people emotionally. So if you have anxiety, depression, more people are depressed, more people are worried, fearful of the future. Well, there's number one tip to get out of any negative emotion, and that's gratitude. And so the last step is to actually write down the things you're grateful for. So if every day you're writing down 3 things you're grateful for, you really, literally, I've had this happen where obviously I'm the brain boss, but I get in these states and I have to come up with all these strategies. I have a lot of strategies, but when you actually literally cannot be depressed and be grateful at the same time. You can't be anxious and grateful at the same time. You can't be fearful and grateful at the same time. So I think we've all heard, whether it's Oprah or Tony Robbins or Richard Branson, we've all heard gratitude, gratitude, gratitude.
Yeah.
And so that's the last part. But if it's true, if every day you're writing down 3 things you're grateful for, it makes you put your focus on what you have and what you can appreciate versus what you don't have, which is also very easy pathway in the brain if we don't train our brain to get what we want. You can really electrically engineer the future that you want with your brain, and your life is only going to be as fantastic as your brain wiring makes it to be. So that's what becoming a brain boss is really being in control of that and wiring your brain in all these methods and ways that I teach about to have it be wired up for what you want, the results that you want.
That's awesome. And we were wondering what this conversation had to do with wealth. Like create wealth in your future, wire your brain, right?
Yes. If you want to be wealthy, wire your brain for wealth. Yes. And, this has been a big part of my journey. I think there's certain things happen in your childhood, your past, and the way that you're programmed. Some people are just more easily programmed for wealth and success. And other people, like myself, I've had to deal with that kind of poverty spirit or mentality. That was something that the way I was raised. And again, I've had to learn all these techniques to be able to rise above that. And that's what anybody that isn't having the wealth that they want, that's what they need to do. Now, I also really I like to teach about prosperity, because I have a little bit of a different idea about what is a wealthy life, what is a prosperous life. And for me, that's where you have all the money and resources you need to live out your God-given destiny. You're totally out of debt, and then you have enough overflow in your life to help other people live out their God-given destiny. So that's really my favorite. And it takes money for the world to happen, and there's nothing at all wrong with wanting to have, a big house or a fancy car or make, millions of dollars. And in reality, though, it's the values you have, the purpose that you have. It's blessing other people, helping other people. That's where the true richness of life comes. And I know we've all heard the stories, and I've worked with a lot of people that have been mentors of mine, teachers of mine that have been around a lot of wealthy people and said, just because you have material wealth doesn't mean you're going to have happiness. So I really like going for the total package of all of that. And again, your brain is involved in every aspect of your life, your relationships, your job, your career, your talents that you have that you want to bring to the world, your health habits, and so many things. I mean, so many things. I even have something I want to share about beliefs, habits, mindset that has to do with the pandemic we've been going through and the vaccine. Now, it's interesting because I really have come to believe that if you believe that getting the vaccine is going to help you, then it will. And if you believe it's going to be harmful, then there's more of a chance that it will be. And it's not the whole idea of that we are the placebo. We've all heard about those studies where they give people a sugar pill and the real pill. And it's what people believe it will do for them determines the results that they get. So that's really helped me a lot because people are very divided on this vaccine thing. Some people are like, oh, I can't wait to get my vaccine. Other people are like, I would never take the vaccine. And then the way I've come to have peace about it is realizing that it's all about your beliefs. So that's helped me to come to peace as looking at it that way and realizing that really is more powerful than the physical is your belief system. Very, very, very powerful.
That's absolutely true. It's good to hear. I spent the day with a couple hours with my cousin, but we definitely had that conversation.
Yeah, so that's really helped me a lot. That's helped me. So maybe that will help some of your listeners too, to know that, yes, our beliefs are very powerful when it comes to money and also our health and relationships and how we live our life and our faith and so many things. Our beliefs really do impact our results.
So I know that you're having a master class coming up really soon.
Yes.
I'm going to put the link below, and that master class is ongoing.
Yes, I'll be having them on an ongoing basis. So you just go to the funnel, gobrainboss.com, and whatever the next upcoming class will be listed there.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So I'm passionate about everybody becoming the boss of their brain and being able to manage transition, because a lot of people have been in transition, whether it's a job, divorce, moving, starting a business. I mean, there's just so many transitions in life. And I really believe that when you become the boss of your brain, it will help you to navigate those transitions. And then ultimately, I think that really one of the crowning glories of life is to find out what your God-given destiny is and live it. And the more you can use the talents that God's given you and find your niche and your passion. And I feel really blessed that really early in life, I did take the time to think about what are my God-given talents? How can I be of service to people? What is it I love to do? And, it was a long time ago. And I remember I took a month and I did all this reading and reflecting and journaling and just contemplating. And at the end of it, I came up with that I was going to start a seminar company and teach people things, speak and teach people. And it was so funny because I lived in Bozeman, Montana at the time. I mean, not one person in that town, college town, maybe 50, 60,000 people at the time. It's grown a lot now. Nobody was doing that. And so people that I knew through like the chamber, just town, I would tell them what I was going to do. And they're like, what? Oh, that's never going to work, And then people that knew me though, like my family, my friends, they were like, oh my gosh, you're going to be so great at that. I mean, the one thing I know how to do is talk and teach. I love to learn and then teach people what I've learned. So they said, oh, you're going to be so successful. Well, as fate would have it, within 2 years, I started getting traction. I started by teaching how to organize your office for action and time management. And it was the time management course that I created that got me into the 7 Habits and Stephen Covey's organization. And that happened within 2 years. So, everything just catapulted. And, I've had national speaking contracts, and I've done all these great things, done business coaching with an international company, and so many doors have opened. I've worked with, hundreds of business owners. I have over 5,000 hours of coaching. And all that came from the fact that I took 1 month to figure out what is my God-given destiny, and then how do I live that out? And so I have been blessed. And now the idea of helping other people do that is, very appealing. And also now I'm taking my business online, which so many people are, and transitioning from like speaking tours and speaking more in person into bringing it online. And so for a lot of people, that's a transition right there. And but people like you who know how to do the funnels and really are helping people master that. I mean, you've been a huge help to me. If I learned how to do it too, but it's like, whenever I run into a glitch that I couldn't figure out, Ceanne, how do I do it? So I feel like you really found your niche to be able to combine technology and teach people things and bring people together, with summits. Summits are awesome because you're bringing experts together. And that's a talent. I'm very excited for both of us, for all the things that we have going, all the ways that we're helping people. It's very cool.
Absolutely. I've had several conversations talking about bringing businesses online. For so many people, that's the answer to building their wealth, up-leveling that business, and especially in this new world.
Oh yeah,
where everything is happening online. We're meeting on Zoom. We're having online conferences, and
there's so much to learn about it. There really is, and so that's why we need people like you to help people make that transition and make that leap, because it's a very different world. Before the coronavirus happened, I decided, okay, this is it. I'm going all in. I'm not going to be driving around town, going to network meetings and trying to, get clients that way. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. When you go online, you can reach the whole world. I mean, it's unlimited. And it's just so much easier because you're not driving around and going into meetings and groups of people where nobody's really even interested in what you have. You have to find your tribe, and now we can target that. We can find the people that are going to be in our tribe, that are going to be drawn to us, attracted to what we have to offer. So it's very exciting.
Sure was nice speaking with you today, talking with you, and appreciate you. And thank you for coming and sharing. What you're doing is amazing. We all have our own different little thing. I have no idea where to begin as far as reprogramming my brain, except for things that you're saying. Taking personal time every day to break the beliefs and the stories and the things that my subconscious mind captured when I was a kid.
Yes, and the subconscious is so powerful. It's like the mass of the iceberg beneath the surface, and that's where everything happens. And it's so much more powerful than our conscious mind. And we're only really aware of what's going on in our conscious mind. Yep. It's like our subconscious. I call it like it's like a robot that it goes about doing what you tell it in the subconscious. But if you're not telling it the right things, then it is going to go out there and like sabotage you or get you the things that you don't want. And so, you got to get that. You got to program that robot to go out there and get on track with the things that you want in your life. It's very exciting.
A lot of the times it's running to keep you safe.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. That is the problem, is that our brain is wired. Yeah, the reptilian brain, the lower part of your brainstem, that's where fight or flight, safety, survival, safety, security, that is what we are wired for. Yeah. So you got to really override all that to be a risk taker, be an entrepreneur, really step out, go after the things that you want. So yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. So yeah, that's what I'm all about, is helping people really understand that and give them practical tips and tools and ways. And then just by working with me, like in my 8-week course, it's that's how we get knowledge, is by hanging out with people that know something really deeply. And these are the things that I know deeply, that I've learned, because like I said, I had a lot of challenges to overcome. So it's really fun to, have that success and have the life that I want, and know that I was able to overcome a lot of challenges to get there.
Well, thank you again for being with us today.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I love helping people. And so I really appreciate being part of your summit and getting to share my message with the world. So thank you for that.
Awesome. God bless you. Have a great day.
Okay. Bye.
To discover the secrets entrepreneurs are using to create wealth and legacy, visit bigmoneyinfluencerslive.com. And here's a big ask. If you love this podcast, will you take a minute to subscribe, review, and give us a 5-star rating? Be sure and share with your friends and family. And thank you for listening.